These will be crucial skills for you to know. Grab a partner and practice along. You'll be doing a plank pose on top of your base. Base is arms, you can extend up as you're lying down. I like to keep my feet about shoulder width distance apart for my flyer.
Since I'm shorter, I'm going to bring my hands about to the middle of the shin, extending a foot out and pressing up through the hands to bring my other foot up into a nice plank. From here, I'm going to pike up or bring my legs in towards my torso to create this nice box with Liz. To come down, I'm just straightening my body back into a plank, and we're working together to make this shape.
I'm spiraling the eyes of my elbows in towards midline and pushing up with my palms, while at the same time plugging my humerus head bones into their respective shoulder sockets and essentially dumping the weight into my shoulders. Now to sit up, I'm gonna roll my spine up. So I'm rolling up. And then crucial, I'm melting my heart towards Kaylee so that we can both find a nice straight line through the spine. To come down, I'm rolling back down again. So work that spinal articulation. If you want a little extra, you can roll up, release a hand, hold onto the shoulder of your flyer, and then the flyer can extend a leg. Explore some leg variations, coming back down. To set down, I can slowly set the feet down. Our first L-base skill is throne. Different than chair, commonly confused. For throne, I'm going to press the outer edges, these little wedges of my feet, out into the napes of Kaylee's knees. And then we're hooking the shin in front of shin so that she can hold onto my calf muscles with her toes. I'm going to slightly pull out as she pulls in with adductor strength. We can hook one leg at a time and use hands as well initially to start. Eventually you can get into your throne without hands, but nice to use hands initially to start. So here I'm bringing the outer edge of my foot right into the inseam of her knee, and she can even prematurely hook. So shin forward and in front of shin. Notice that shin to shin contact, and then the big to mound hooks around the calf muscle. From here, she can lean in, press up, lift up. The other foot will come to the same exact position. Again, finding that engagement by slightly pressing out with my legs, riding a standing still wave together. So she's squeezing her inner thighs together to compensate.
From here, I can make sure I'm stable by seeing if I can rise up and down a little.
And then, of course, to come back down, hands can return to hands. Kaylee can release a foot. I can send her down in that direction. Reverse throne is our next skill. So it's, of course, throne facing the other way. Whenever you have the reverse in an acro name, it usually means the flyer is facing away from the base. So we have Kaylee facing away from me now. Same, we can do one leg initially to hook. So shin to shin contact still is being made here. I already have my foot prematurely ready to hook the other foot. And we're doing a peace sign grip, so hand to hand grip. She's going to take a little hop, press through the hands, and then hook the shin in front of shin. Still hooking the calf muscle with the toes. And again, I'm still kind of pressing the legs out wide ever so slightly as she engages her adductors and isometrically pulls energy up to sit tall in her throne. So my feet are pointed out a little bit, heels in. So we have almost a second position in ballet if you've practiced ballet. But there is quite a bit of engagement on both parts. So this is static strength. We are learning how to engage to maintain a shape.
It's the same engagement with my toes really pushing out against my base's calves. And I can do the same thing where I can rise a little here.
And to come out, we can return hands to hands. Kaylee can release a foot. I can glide her down in that direction. This is an intuitive skill that you'll just continue to get better at as you continue to practice it. Next, we'll do the throne around, which is where we'll combine throne and reverse throne and essentially transition between the two shapes. And it's all about foot placement. And then also as the base, you are sending a lot of energy up through your hands into the flyer's feet. So it is kind of preparing the bases and flyers for eventually foot to hand. And the main thing is we're making a lot of shapes, but I'm keeping Kaylee's center of mass directly over my power line the entire time. So we can decide which foot would you like to release first. Going with this side first, so I can, again, I'm pressing through the hand into Kaylee's foot as we displace the weight into the hand or into my hands. Now I can switch my foot, place it so that she can actually sit on top of my foot. Here, she's in a little sideways secretary sit. We can release the leg that was previously in the throne, switch to a reverse throne, and then same thing, I'm kind of swiveling her a little bit. Hand immediately comes to foot. So I can press my hand through her foot and provide a little bit of energy conduction up to her, making it easier for her to transition. So now we're going to release this foot, and I'm pressing through my hand into Kaylee's foot as we come into this little secretary sit. Again, we can release that throne, wrap the new throne, still pressing through the foot and rotating around.
I'm going to spin around the other way. I'm going to unwrap one leg, and on the opposite side, I'm going to shift my weight into that leg. And that's going to allow Liz to move her foot under my seat. She's really helping me by giving me support in her hand while I think about wrapping this leg around her other leg. I let her get into the crook of my knee before I wrap, and once I feel ready, I can bring my leg open, push into her hand, and re-wrap on the other side. I'm pushing into her foot, sitting up into this leg. She's helping me with her hand, and I'm just really engaging my core and my hip flexor muscles to keep me upright. And I'm keeping my chest open the whole time.
I am obsessed with this next skill. It is so clutch for aligning your inversion practice. The candlestick. There is a slight difference between candlestick and shoulder stand. You are pressing your flyer towards your thighs, so your arms might be a little bit of a slant. So make the adjustments. We will go over shoulder stand, reverse shoulder stand as well. I am bringing my feet wide and my knees together, squeezing my knees together so that this is a nice stable base. There might be still a little bit of movement, so flyers, be prepared, of course. Hands come straight up. I'm bringing my thumbs to connect to the rest of my hand, so I'm not doing the Lego hands for this particular shoulder stand. And the reason why is because we don't want to press our thumbs into the front of the chest of the flyer. It doesn't feel great. But for a reverse shoulder stand, you can press your thumbs into the traps because your flyer will be facing the other way. I'm going to keep my arms straight, plug my arms into their shoulder sockets, allow the shoulder blades to descend into the ground, and just press Kaylee straight towards my thighs. So Kaylee can take a big step over my legs, step over. My hands come right up to the neckline, so they're planted on the fleshy part of the trap. And then she can walk up onto my knees. Again, squeeze those knees so it's a nice stable platform for them to step upon. And then she can float the legs up. Most flyers, by the time they straighten through their legs, their hips are already stacked. But of course, you can find a friend that's willing to spot, help you to align the hips to stack. Again, arms stay straight, otherwise you're bench pressing your flyer's body weight. Here the flyer can try some leg variations and focus on keeping their core engaged to support their spine in space. Beautiful. To come down, legs wide, gently descend to ground. The next fundamental skill is Backbird. So as it suggests, it's bird, but facing the sky. So Kaylee is backwards. She's gonna back up and my fingers should be able to graze her ankles. My heels will come into the glute and my big toe mounds will support her sacrum. So I have a little tiny pigeon toe, but again, check in with your flyer, make sure that the foot placement is comfortable for them. She can hold onto my ankles. We can also do hand to hand. I can also have my hands ready to catch her shoulders. There's lots of different entries. So whatever feels most comfortable for your flyer. So Kaylee's going for the hands. I can gently allow her body weight to come over me, and then once her center of mass is directly over my power line, I can lift. My hands can come to her shoulders. Nice. Beautiful. All right. And let's do a little tiny baby washing machine while we're here, and go ahead and show the rest of our fundamental skills that we're hoping to teach the Cal Poly students this Sunday, 5:30 p.m. in the mat room. So we can go directly into shoulder stand. For this shoulder stand, again, remember your arms are going to be straight perpendicular to the ground. My thumbs are going to gently press into the center of her traps. Again, the inner arch of my hand is right along Kaylee's neckline. I'm going to kind of a little squeeze, little tiny press, but again, I'm plugging my scapula into the ground. I'll spiral the eyes of the elbows in towards midline and shoot energy through my palms so as to create 2 straight lines. It's kind of flyer driven, which I love because the flyer can slowly maneuver their legs in a straddle out wide and then slowly peel their hips up off of the feet as they feel ready to navigate into the reverse shoulder stand. And she can continue to hold on to my ankles. I like to kind of pull the feet away a little bit so that they can find a nice straight arm. And that creates a nice standing still wave for more potential for stability. She can work some leg variations. We can lower back into Backbird, or what we're gonna do is straddle bat. So legs are gonna come out wide into a straddle. I'm going to set my feet into her hips. And it's kind of flyer driven, it's kind of base driven. You notice that she was able to position my feet where she wanted them in the inner thigh along the hip crease. So we're gonna do a quick little washing machine. It's such a little baby washing machine, it's so cute. She can bend in her knees for the straddle bat and then catch her ankles. Now from here, my hands are gonna come to Kaylee's deltoids, and she's gonna start to straighten through her legs as she keeps her feet together, coming into Paschimottanasana. All my yogis out there. So the legs are together. The arms are really strong though. She has really, really strong arms because that is a part of the foundation. I can then remove my feet. I can kind of hover my feet around the hips. Eventually, once you learn how to balance this, you may not need the feet, and you can chill, floating Paschi and chill. We're gonna take it back, and of course, another exit is you can just come to stand, but we're gonna just take it right back into Backbird. So again, a little washing machine for you. From here, I'll gently set Kaylee's feet down to ground and press her back up to stand.
This one, I'm just gonna hold on to the ankles and I'm gonna lean back, and I'm really thinking about protecting my spine by engaging my core. If you notice, my legs are actually pretty straight and I'm using my leg muscles to help me protect my core. Once we're here, my hands are on the ankles and we're moving into a reverse shoulder stand. I'm going to both pike my legs out wide and straddle them, and I'm also going to push my base's legs away and out from me. So I'm piking my legs, and as I peel off of her, I can push out. And I love this really straight line that I'm making with my arms. It just feels so stable. Once we're here, we don't have to do any fancy leg variations. We can simply pull our base's feet into the straddle. Once we're here, I'm bringing my feet together and I'm holding my ankles. If we don't have that flexibility, it's okay to hold in the shins as well, but I'm gonna hold my ankles. And I'm going to straighten my legs and keep my arms really, really straight. And that's what's going to make this shape structurally sound. I'm using my core. I'm trying to be as stable as I can. And once I feel her toes back on my back, I can peel my legs backwards. I really like this stag shape, which is just bringing a knee to my chest. And this brings a little bit of the kink out of your lower spine in a backbird. And it's so pretty.
Obviously, spotting is crucial, and we cover all of the spotting techniques for all of these skills in the class, so come to the class. But if you miss a class, this is a great alternative so that you can see what it is that we covered in Sunday's class, 5:30 p.m. in the mat room.
Thank you very much. See you next time.
Yeah, and thank you, YouTubers, for practicing with us. Keep expanding consciousness. It benefits the whole collective. Namaste.
Namaste.